4321. Okay, Northwest 4321 is your Wi-Fi password, all lowercase. My name is Justin Meccia. Welcome to Social Media 2.0. I'm going to do my best, Northwest 4321, to unpack this data as efficiently as possible. There's people in this room who know the challenge of cramming what is probably going to become a college course real soon, social media marketing, into 1 hour, okay? Now, NMAR did allow me 3. I intend on taking 2. Just kidding. It's pop up. Wait a minute. I paid way too much money for this. If you don't like the class, I'll give you your money back, okay? Couple of little things here. First of all, sandwiches and waters on the table there. Grab them if you're hungry or thirsty. Brought to you by my company, First American Title. My quick 30-second commercial about First American Title. Family owned and operated for well over 100 years. Originated out of Blackfoot, Idaho. Same family that started the company is still the same family that operates the company. We believe in what we do. We protect property rights. We're not a national entity. We're not a Fortune 500 company. Our interests are here locally in title, in escrow, and settlement services. We'd love to assist you in your next real estate transaction. As the business developer with First American Title here in Flathead County, I would love to assist you in developing that business so that we can bring those transactions to the table and secure those deals and get those buyers and sellers moving. So that's actually what we're going to discuss today, is how we can take this big machine, this communication machine called social media, and best benefit our business. We are going to jump into it with some razor sharp precision. I know there's probably going to be questions afterwards. There will be a need for some probably one-on-one answering, and that's fine too. So while I'm at that point, I've got a little card swap game. Now or at any point you're comfortable, my cards are scattered amongst the table. Grab one. I did fan them out like a deck of cards for a reason. Okay, so grab the lucky one, and we'll see who wins. Now, to grab one, you need to throw yours in the punch bowl, okay? At any point you're comfortable to do that. You can get up at any point, you're not gonna bother me. And by throwing your card in the punch bowl, you're going to become, I'm gonna be able to open you up to our private Facebook page where we put this information there often, and you're able to view it at your convenience. This entire presentation is gonna be up there as well. And I'm also able to email you the slides that are of interest that you may wanna see. Well, I know we probably all have at least one question in common, and that is, if my remote works, can you really cut a penny? Cutting pennies, gaining business, right? Yes, you can. And for $19.99, we're always selling, right, John?
Always.
So yes, you can actually cut pennies. Now, and you can make them into these beautiful little corkscrews.
So they buy something about.
Not a real penny. It's a Canadian penny.
It's 5 cents a month. That's a commitment.
So, just by means of comic relief, yes, we did cut through this penny. However, metaphorically speaking, we are going to use some tools that are available to us through social media. Hello. Grab a sandwich, grab a pen, grab a card. There's a game later. We're going to do some razor sharp, we have some razor sharp tactics I'm going to unveil to you so that you can take this to your business and develop great business. Now, I know that right now some of us are actually asking more important questions than can I really cut a penny? And that is, social media moves so fast, where do I begin? In fact, if I were to pick an illustration, it would be this. This is the engine of social media. I was sharing prior to the class starting, I've been teaching this class numerous times for a little over a year now. And in settings like this, and this class has modified and modified and changed and changed and changed. In fact, it's probably not 2.0 anymore. It's more like 9.0 or something. It's way up there. Social media moves so fast that it seems almost like every other industry is operating like this. Can we relate? I mean, come on, let's be human here for a minute. Aren't we in the grocery store like this? As we're waiting? Come on, no, that's because social media is moving this fast. It seems like everything else is moving like this. I'm going to cruise through some graphics really fast. These graphs I'm going to make available. Again, some of them are already in the private group that you're going to be invited to, as long as you put your card in the bowl. And others will become available after this class. And I apologize because I'm going to have to go through, kind of like a jet, these graphs. I would love to spend a lot of time digesting them. However, I've got to unpack some great material. This is a graph of a lot of the popular social media platforms. At the top of the list, Facebook. I'm going to illustrate it this way. If America Online, well, that's funny. If America. If the online portion of America were represented by 4 people, 3 of them are on Facebook. Okay? The clear winner with saturation amongst the online community in America. Let's talk about age demographics. How many of you have clients between the ages of 30 and 64? How many of you like to get clients between the ages of 30 and 64? Chances are they're financially fit. Chances are, well, obviously they can take title. You have to be 18 plus. Here's a graph with a lot of the top social media platforms. Facebook, again, the clear winner, coming in at over 75% of those between 30 and 49 actively engaged on social media. And those between the ages of 50 and 64, also 65%. More so than these other platforms, okay? I'm just illustrating numbers here. Let's put it into perspective though. Registered users, according to January 2018, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Okay? You can see the big numbers, all right? What I'd like to highlight here, what this graph doesn't show, is that 1, 2, 3 of the top 4 are owned by the same company, Facebook. Now what's really cool is YouTube has a really cool synchronicity with Facebook. So if you haven't heard me say one thing over and over and over, pull the earbuds out. Let me put this in perspective here. If China, the world's largest nation, were a social media group, it would come in about 3rd place. Meaning, the population of Facebook and YouTube are greater than the population of China. What about America? Well, we're down here between Twitter and LinkedIn. Okay? So, a couple of other take-homes on social media really quick. I decided to grab some of the top ones here. This one sort of is interesting. 80% of Instagram users are outside the United States, leaving about 77 million people in America on Instagram. How does it compare with the others? Well, LinkedIn has 128 million US registered users, spending an average of 19 minutes a month on it. Still ranks high in SEO, so keep it updated. Probably a really big mistake to have your Facebook say that you're here and your LinkedIn say that you're here. True story, I moved to Montana in 2008, hadn't updated my LinkedIn for quite a while, going for a really cool job, and they said, well, I looked you up on LinkedIn and it says that you're still delivering pizzas. Ouch! Where's that password? Twitter, 68 million registered users, actually on a little bit of a downward slope, yet they're very strong in hashtag SEO. We're going to dive into that a little bit. I need to bring them up. So probably not something worth forgetting. I'm going to predict that they're going to reinvent themselves in a little bit because they want to remain competitive. The giant, 214 million registered users in the United States, greater than all these guys, probably combined, if I did my math right. Over 58 million of them are between the ages of 25 and 34, and here's the key, should bold this, spending 39 minutes a day on it. A lot greater than 19 minutes a month. I don't want to pick on these guys because I know they have a purpose. I know they serve people well. In fact, still people send me stuff through this and I have to keep it updated somehow. However, metaphorically speaking, it's the Rolodex of social media. Okay? Keep it updated, refer to it as needed. However, farm here. Probably why that's an F. I want to talk about reach versus impression because that's when you start to dive into this education of social media. You hear reach and you hear impression. A reach is the total number of people who see your content, and it's not like one versus the other, okay? I just want you to understand the two terms. An impression is the number of times your content is displayed, no matter if it was clicked. Okay, now there's a strategy in obtaining both. I do want you to really think about this word here, though, and how it pertains to your business. I'll give you an example with Twitter, because it's one of the most visible ones. We all understand Twitter and tweeting, thanks to our president. Even if you don't use Twitter, you understand Twitter and tweeting and possibly the dangers of it. Let's say you have 100 followers in your Twitter, and you tweet once, and you happen to tweet when all of them are watching. Well, you have a 100 max reach. Okay, simple math. However, if you were to do the same thing with the same group, 100 followers again, and you were to tweet twice, you still have 100 max reach, yet you can have 200 impressions, and again with no potential maximum. So for example, my cards are scattered across the table. Let's say I have 5 of them over there, and let's say there's just simple math, 10 people in the room, okay? And all of you walk by my cards. Well, that's 5 times 10 is the impressions. The reach would be however many people pick them up and take them home. And then at that point, the reach continues to make impressions if that card happens to be on the countertop while a friend is over or whatever it may be. And business cards are exactly that, business impressions. Now, that's why we can get clever with our business cards and we're creative. Everything that you do that has your name and your license number on it or your phone number on it is a call for business. So think a lot about that word impression, because that's what we're going to build in our social media. Now, I'm not the only one singing this song and dance. In fact, I'm going to allow you to interview somebody here in a second. However, I've got a pop quiz. Can we name the county? 75,000 in population, average home price north of 250,000, rural in nature, over 200 realtors in the association, and yes, I did put the little R because you're supposed to, and you're supposed to capitalize it. And they have a community college. No, don't say Flathead. I know it sounds like Flathead, doesn't it? It's possibly the furthest county from Flathead County. Not geographically, culturally. Not really, because they're also a rural county. It's Kings County, California. And we don't like to admit the relationship between CA and MT. However, it's there. And if we can leverage our relationships with some people down there, then let's do it. So I'm going to interview one of my friends. So Jamie Tulak, realtor broker, right?
I actually don't have my brokers. A lot of people think either me or John do. I've been in real estate now for 7 years. My degree, my background, my degree is in interior design. I went to go work for a builder right out of college. I thought it was going to be design driven. It ended up being sales, and I liked it so much that I went and got licensed. I'm starting here now in my 8th year of selling real estate and have been able to actually utilize that design degree, and now we incorporate home staging, so when they list with us, they get to stage for free. I've been a top producing agent every year. My first year of real estate, I sold 32 units. I am a board director for our local board. We've done just a lot to change the way homes are marketed here locally.
Oh, good. Well, we're talking about just one component. I know that you and I could probably talk forever and teach a whole week-long, session on being involved in your board and what that means like and how to keep your hands in the community. We're just taking we're looking at that tiny sliver called social media in our marketing. And the reason why I wanted to reach out to you, knowing that you and John are doing really well in California and that your marketplace is interestingly very similar to ours. Right out the gate, can I start with a social media question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a preference? There's a ton of platforms out there. Are there those that do better for you and those that do not so well?
Yeah, so our top 2 platforms that we use are obviously Facebook and Instagram. Those are obviously the top 2. And obviously Instagram is now owned by Facebook, so it's great because they integrate, so it makes it easier to share content on those 2. And being able to do paid boosted advertisements, sometimes you have to spend money to make money.
Sure.
You just have to spend it in the right places is the thing. So spending it in the right places would mean putting your marketing dollars and making sure they work. So social media is the number one thing for us and how we've grown our business. From day one, really, I started marketing on social media before it became a thing, before it became super popular. And now we just have created a following on both of our platforms. So Facebook and Instagram are really great. They're user friendly. They're free.
Yeah.
When you start out, just trying to grow a following that way. But then there's little different things that we use to create some free graphics. One platform I like to use to create graphics. So you don't have to be super tech savvy. You don't have to be able to master Photoshop, but we use Canva a lot. So I don't know if you've heard of Canva, but that one is the one that we really like to use a lot.
Good.
To create really pretty graphics, to create interest, and create different things that will actually draw interest on social media. So.
Okay, so I'll summarize that really fast. Number one thing for her in her marketing efforts are social media. And from day one, they were. True story, her husband and I go way back to college days in North Carolina. So they obviously had a big shift going to the West Coast as well. And then jumping into this community that they had a pretty little footprint in, they leveraged their social media presence to develop a very successful business, and now they're top producers in their marketplace in a very similar marketplace. Okay, one last quick little question for her. What kind of content do you find that works best? What engages your audience most?
Facebook and Instagram are super similar. Instagram is more about pretty pictures, right? So you want to make sure that you're creating not only nice photos, but that your grid looks right. So the age demographic on Instagram is more relatable to people in their 20s. So you're looking at millennials, right? And then Facebook, you're looking at more people in their 30s and 40s. So you want to use stuff like links to click on. So a lot of times I use single property websites as my content on Facebook. So I'll post a photo of our new listings and I'll link to that single property website with more photos and more info. If you look at like the community expert and you're sharing info on what's going on and what's happening in your community, whether it be new commercial construction, residential new construction, being the first to share that information is huge. You want to be the one that's giving the information first, obviously accurate information. You
Right.
don't want to be sharing inaccurate information, but giving them something of value, right? So if they're following you, you want to make sure they're following you for the right reasons and that you're sharing information so that they don't quickly unfollow you or unlike your page, that you're constantly pumping out information that's not just real estate related, but also something of value that's geared towards supporting different local businesses in the community. So that's another great way that I'm constantly sharing stuff that I want.
Yep. Let me ask a question. First, I like this quote. If you're a silent realtor, then people won't know you're the expert. That's what she said at the end. She's not a silent realtor. She's very vocal, very public. You're welcome to follow her on social media. So Studio 12, 1-2, Realty. Studio 12 Realty out of California, Jamie Tulak. So really, she did illustrate her favorites. Ultimately, I'm here to tell you that all of this just translates to communication. She did say something, be the community expert. So it's not just real estate, it's not just listings. And even though she's strategically placing photos and then attaching her single website or single property website link to that photo, which is engaging, which is compelling, which is going to trigger people to, and Angie, I know you've done that a couple times too, it's going to lead to links or some website traffic there. She said, be the community expert. By show of hands, how many are licensed realtors? Not everybody. Yet, real estate encompasses all, doesn't it? We're all affected by real estate. So take that in mind as you create your posts and you're seeking to engage your audiences. The commodity that you have access to affects all of us. So as you strengthen that muscle of being the community expert, you strengthen the ability to engage your audience and keep them compelled to come back to you and be thinking of you as they think of their next home or their next sale. So now I'll share with you, I went to school for marketing and film and even public speaking. And in public speaking, they encouraged us to simplify all that we have, take this whale and turn it into a goldfish. I'm like, well, how do I do that? I already illustrated the challenge of taking what I believe is going to become a college course really soon, digital marketing or social media marketing, and compress it into an hour. I was joking about sushi on my social media, and I thought maybe if I brought sushi, everybody would stay a little longer, because then you get the sushi coma, and then I'm talking sleeping bodies. They teach you to create an acronym. They say, if you're speaking for education or information, you have information to share, create an acronym and break it down to 3 or 4 simple points. So I came up with a name, actually, Leah. Here's what I would design as the intention behind your social media pushes, regardless of your platform. I'm going to encourage you to listen, engage, and then advertise. These do cost you nothing, maybe a little bit of your time, probably a little bit of time management. This one begins to cost you something, and yet it could be as simple as this, fractions of a penny per impression. Listen, we're in business, and as she even said, you have to spend money to make money. Well, why throw it out the window? If I can show you a razor-sharp way to get in front of the audience that you want, why not implement that instead? All right, so listen, engage, and then advertise. Let's talk about listen for a second. How can you listen on Facebook or on your social media? Follow like industries. Don't be afraid to like your fellow realtors. You guys do work together, right? There's a code of ethics that binds you. You guys provide home ownership and home opportunity for people in the community. Follow like industries, not just realtors though. Follow those in the industry like perhaps, well, there's really only one title company that matters. So let's talk about lenders. Man. NMAR. Because NMAR posts regularly, NMAR posts relative information. They've got a great PR director who's constantly posting community-related items, who I know you're probably excited about me talking about community.
Yes, thank you.
Follow like industries because you are, as Jamie said, the community expert. Listen, you have a fantastic occupation. You also have a tall obligation. You're the forefront of our community, okay? Put your tags to the test, all right? I'm gonna talk about tags in a second, so let me cruise through this really quick. Stay on top of your insights. By the way, I still get the question, can't I just do this on my personal page? No, because on your personal page, you do not have Facebook Insights. And Facebook Insights, as you guys would probably admit, gold. Worth it every bit and costs you nothing. It's kind of like having an entire marketing team behind your Facebook page saying, hey, Justin, this is what didn't work today, you know, or this is what worked today. Stay on top of your insights, track what works. Hashtags, I told you I was gonna talk about hashtags. We've probably all seen this, and it's probably a little bit nauseating. We probably all have friends or family members that talk like that. Maybe not exactly necessary like that. However, let's talk about them in just a minute. I really like what Red Crow Marketing had said about hashtags. I'll read this to you real quick, because back there you're going to be able to see it. Referring to Twitter, a tweet that contains only hashtags is not only confusing, kind of like what we just read there, it's boring. If your tweet simply reads hashtag happy, your followers will have no idea what you're talking about. Similarly, if you tweet hashtag walking dead is hashtag awesome, you're not really adding much to the conversation. Spoiler alert, that big shift that Facebook did in January directed everybody towards the world of engaging and away from this what I like to call the hustle for like. It's no longer a numbers game anymore. Now, it's designed to create compelling conversation. Zuckerberg and his little crew are not interested in saying most likes wins. Zuckerberg and his great crew are saying we're designing something of quality here. By the way, Facebook is so powerful, got slapped in the wrist by the government for doing what they did, didn't change anything. In fact, 29% of people surveyed said they started using it more, while only 1% said they decided to delete their account. Kind of a powerful thing. So start incorporating hashtags into your social media marketing plan and watch the effect that it has on your SEO. Now, Red Crow Marketing is a company outside of Montana, and it's not bad, and clearly we interviewed an agent out of California of similar marketplace. I believe local wins, which is why I'm at First American Title. I also like to tap into local resources. So these ladies, Expand Your Growth, offering social media counseling and digital marketing expertise, are also interested in developing stronger social media presences in the community with the business leaders of our community. And I asked them, I said, hey, why hashtags? So they provided these answers. By the way, Instagram posts with hashtags have 70% more engagement than posts without hashtags. What did I say the magic word was now? Engaging. So if you're going to use Instagram, which it is so easy to do with Facebook, you may as well grab those 77 million more people in America. Take your photo, throw it on Instagram, share it to your Facebook. On your Instagram, you might want to consider throwing a bunch of hashtags out there. Now there is a little hashtag hack. You can post them once, save them, and then every time you post your listings or aspects of your listing, you can have all those hashtags just copied and pasted, so you don't have to keep typing all 30. Hashtag example would be, well, these are great here. Use industry, niche, or location-specific hashtags. Hashtag Kalispell. Hashtag First American Rocks. It could be your, and what I mean by that, First American Rocks, it could be your tagline. Whatever it is about your real estate business that you have defined as your unique selling proposition, hashtag it so that you can track the results of that hashtag. What else do I want to say about this? Research your hashtags before using them. I love that you said that, because you might not want to say something that's inappropriate socially that you didn't think was inappropriate socially.
For example, hashtag Snapchat is now marked as a very inappropriate, it's marked as porn. And so there is really important research that goes into hashtags. And I can answer more questions about that because I nerd out a lot.
Wait, what was that hashtag?
Yeah. So research your hashtags before engaging in them. So, all right, let's talk about insights. Real fast, I mentioned real quick, if you're using your Facebook business, or your personal page as your business page, you're missing out on this great marketing thing called insights. It's the 4th tab over on your Facebook business page. When you dive into insights, it will tell you when people are on your site. It'll tell you what people like on your page. It'll tell you what kind of posts are most engaging on your page so that you continue to feed your audience what they're hungry for. That's the beauty about this entire marketing world. When I went to marketing school, UNC, go Tar Heels, right? We did not have the terms outbound and inbound. We were on the coast, we had outboard and inboard. We didn't have outbound and inbound. In fact, if somebody had gotten up and said that in 2002, we would have probably gone boating. What it means today is outbound marketing is marketing efforts that where a marketer is attempting to chase its customer, it's attempting to find its consumer, okay? Outbound marketing examples, billboards, television commercials, radio ads. They have their place. I bet you if I said name a marketer in last year's Super Bowl, while most of you may not even remember the last year's Super Bowl, you definitely remember Doritos or Coca-Cola or Budweiser or Bud Light, right? In fact, you may not have even had the television on during that hour, and you could have probably got one of the Family Feud items right, and just say, oh yeah, Bud Light. They're always there. The outbound marketing efforts of Bud Light work for Bud Light. If you've got that pocketbook, you might want to try that too. However, because all real estate is local, inbound marketing is a lot more appropriate to your industry. Why? Because we attach the business with you. You're a human component to a very important transaction. So inbound marketing works tremendously more, is tremendously more successful in your marketing approaches. Plus, you can get a lot of it done for free. Okay, I did want to throw in this. I've been doing this presentation a lot, and I keep neglecting the favorite apps that I use. I just threw this up there really fast. If you're not utilizing Facebook pages, begin, because it allows you to take your Facebook business page to your phone. So I can literally go live as First American Title from my phone at perhaps maybe a groundbreaking event in the community, such as maybe the introduction of our new office in July. So we'll be there. Facebook Messenger, also an app for you to use. By the way, the 3rd most popular social media app. Many of you probably got a video from me wearing a hat or having a big beard. That's all done through Facebook Messenger. Okay, pretty cool. You think you need to get that stuff done from Snapchat? No, Snapchat has other reasons apparently. You can actually delete Snapchat if you want and begin to use Facebook Messenger to creatively communicate with your clients. How's that for alliteration? Facebook Local, new app. Love this app. Because years ago I noticed every time I went to check into something, Facebook would be like, hey, is that a restaurant or is it a real estate office? And okay, whatever, and I'd answer these questions. Do you think these are their hours of operation? I'm like, I don't know, I'm not the proprietor, I'm not even there, you know? And Facebook kept asking those questions. Now I noticed years later, those questions are a lot more precise. Why? Because they've been gathering all that data to create today's phone book, okay? Facebook Local is an app. Now, how do we take this to real estate? Here's a tip. Next time you do an open house, make it an event so that it shows up on people like me in their local feed. Make an event, make it public, because it's an opportunity to conduct business.
So events show up on Facebook Local?
Events show up on Facebook Local.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So now, remember, Facebook Local is just another search engine.
Yeah.
You do need to SEO, search engine optimize. Just don't create an app, or don't create an event and have nothing there. You know, you can bring the horse to the trough, make sure there's water in it. Okay, so SEO wins. That's where those hashtags come into play. That's where the engagement on your event comes into play. Notice that even this event, I threw a video in the event, and people commented on the video in the event. In fact, I could check into this event right now if we had decent Wi-Fi. Because of the SEO of that event. It's a high caliber event because of all the activity on the event. So next time you have an open house, by the way, I do another social media open house class, and I encourage people 7 days prior to the open house, create a Facebook event and start feeding that event, because that's the way to build the audience for your next business opportunity, which is the open house. Okay, LEA, we're on the E. I gotta cruise through this stuff. I'm gonna talk even faster than I normally do. Really fast before I go to the next page, let's identify the difference in tagging, okay? I like to tell people the @ tag is a great idea to tag a person. The hashtag tag is to tag a passion or a location, you know? That's how you start to develop your SEO. So if I say something like, hey, that's awesome, tag me at your open house event at First American Title. It'd actually be First American Flathead. Or at Justin Mecha. Actually, am I on camera still? I'll go ahead and say this, because I do have a friend in the industry named Heidi Escalante at a competing title company. And she decided to tag me as You Betcha Mecha. I loved it so much, and I honor her so much for that I changed my Instagram to You Betcha Metcha.
Nice.
So I think it's kind of cool. And Heidi, that's for you. So anyways, see, we do get along, all right? Really fast. All right, this 4 ways to engage. This is the key word. Here's my suggestions. Video, tag your users, now that we understand the @ and the number sign, or the hashtag. Schedule, I just gave away my age. Schedule posts, and emotional headlines. Okay, let me identify these real fast. Okay, with video, you can start a post with video. You can reply to a post with video. Not a bad idea at all. In fact, I'd love to see more people doing that. Hey, I'm gonna come to your open house. Instead of just typing it, what if I took a second to even make a funny video? Hey, I'm gonna show up to an open house, and if I'm that wizard with the big beard, I might shave before, or something kind of funny. What's gonna happen with humor? It's gonna engage them to reply. If somebody makes a humorous post on your page, on your event, and you don't reply, shame on you. Because that means you read it, and you're like, that's just Justin being a clown again. Communicate directly. Use Facebook Messenger to do it. Let me show you.
Facebook Messenger has definitely upped their game, creating Snapchat-like filters to create some pretty creative messages. Great way to stay on top of people's minds.
All eyes were on the screen. I didn't see anybody look away, right? Because they're thinking, what the heck are you doing? Stay on top of your mind.
Remember, at the end of the day, it's simply just communicating and staying relative to your clients. That's how you win. It's always, always communication.
Let's be honest, you get a brand new lead. Somebody's like, hey, I want to buy some property, I want to buy $1 million listing in Whitefish or Kalispell. I want to be on the lake, whatever. They moved here, they fell in love with it, we all know that story. And yes, we're excited because we got the phone call. We think we won the business. How many other phone calls do you think they made? How many other realtors are attending to their needs? Sending them something like that, probably after you have permission to do so, may keep you on top of their mind. Of course, Jessica, I know you're thinking, I could send this to some of my friends too. What other filters are there on Facebook Messenger? Download it and find out, okay? And message me, I'd love to see that. Tag users, okay? Tagging users creates two-way conversation. If you post something up there that's saying like, hey, I've got social media 2.0 coming up on Wednesday, and that's all I put, that's a one-way conversation. Facebook does not like one-way conversations. They like engagement. The very first thing that you should be able to do is engage those who are related to the post. So that's why it was Social Media 2.0, hosted by First American Title, Flathead County, at Northwest Montana Association of Realtors, because what I did is just skip a rock across multiple ponds, okay? I like to tell people, think of a sky, and every time you send something out into the social media stratosphere, it's like putting another star in the sky. Okay? So when I create one post with 3 tags, I just threw out 3. What area of the sky is going to have the most light? The area with the most stars. So treat your posts like the stars in the sky. Send them out there. Okay? Engage those who are related to the post and share. Schedule your posts, not something you can do on your Facebook personal page, only on your business page. I like to call it time travel. I also like to call it duplication. Meaning I could actually schedule a post to post now while I'm here in this place, and yet somebody thinks I'm over there. I do get it from people. Man, you're everywhere. Kind of. Time travel. Capitalize on that traffic. Kind of. Yeah. Emotional headlines. I love this. There's a whole psychology behind social media, and that is in the emotional headlines. See, we're human. We're the human component to the real estate transaction that you're putting together right now, right today. And of course, you're writing first. So, I'm allowed 3, right, Erica?
Yeah.
Okay. You're the human element. I was sharing off camera and prior to the class, what's your number 1 competitor? Who is your number 1 competitor? Think of them. They look a lot like that. It's not another brokerage. It's not a brokerage with a bigger flag. It's not another broker with a bigger book of clientele. It's automation. There's an entire industry out there that is looking to replace the human component to the most important real estate transaction or the most important financial decision of someone's life. They're looking to take the agent out of the equation and simplify it with an automated process. That's your competitor. That's why I'm here, because I'm fighting that competitor too, because guess what? They're a threat to us as well. So, emotional headlines allow you to continue to remind your audience why you are you and why you are the professional. I'd rather walk through this jungle of home ownership or selling my home with a guided professional, somebody who's invested in my success as well. Get the heartstrings. How-to posts, are very popular. In fact, the #1 searched item on YouTube, how to. I could give you an example right now. I could go to my computer and say, how to tie a wins or not. What's going to be the #1 result? We all know it. Some guy in some place showing us how to tie a wins or not. And you're probably thinking, why in the world would somebody do that? Who takes the time to set up a camera in their closet and tie a knot so that the world can see them tie a knot? I don't know. However, it's there, and somebody blogging about it didn't win the search engine results. The guy with the video camera in the closet tying a knot won the #1 most viewed video. There's reality TV shows about YouTube videos. So how to buy a house, how to sell a house, how to stage a home are great videos to create in your content. The #1 ways to do something that will result in something, and what is the best topic that will do something. You're engaging your audience because you're asking questions. I've got a cruise, guys. Let me get here. So I love this quote. Socialmediaexaminer.com says this: content marketing is one of the most effective ways to differentiate your business, i.e. tell a consumer they need a realtor, not Zillow. Because Zillow cannot give them what you give them. Why? Because you're differentiating your business with content marketing. What is content marketing? We just talked about it, engaging. And to warm up cold audiences. Somebody finds you on the mountain, they say, man, I really want to move here, and they start shopping with you. What are they doing when they're not in your presence? They're looking you up, right? And they find you on Facebook, they type in your name, and perhaps they see YouTube videos, Facebook feeds, tweets, or whatever it may be, and they find your site. If you've got this stuff up there, you win. I have a really great example. Oh, here's a little illustration. I thought to myself, if I were still in the game as an agent, I like to joke with people because it wasn't that long ago I was an agent and I was doing some of this. I didn't have Facebook Live though, it was so much harder then. I am wearing my agent shoes though. Literally, I had these a year ago. I would start with a YouTube video, how to do something in my industry. I would share that YouTube video on Facebook. Why would I do that since Facebook's #1 and YouTube's #2?
Exposure.
Exposure, and they're competing entities. They're both going after market share. Now, what's really cool, and like I said, there's a great marriage between these two. I have another slide that I didn't include because of time. The reciprocity between these two social media platforms is highest. Most users on YouTube have Facebook. Most Facebook users also use YouTube. The reciprocity across Facebook and Twitter, not as high as this, okay? So if you start on YouTube, that's SEO optimization. YouTube is owned by Google.
Google.
#1 search engine is?
Google.
So if you put a video on Facebook, do you think that Google's going to prioritize a Facebook video over a YouTube video? Heck no, because they're competing. We have the opportunity to use them both. At what cost? Nothing. Free to post here, free to share here. Don't use copyrighted music, that'll get you in trouble. And then you can also simultaneously post it on your Instagram. Now look at the ponds that we're skipping our rock across, ultimately leading to that. Okay, so this is how you engage your marketplace digitally. I have said the #1 search engine, Google, 100 billion searches a month. That's a lot. Half of those are less than 4 words. So as you're titling your videos, be short. 40% of those are voice search. So use very key words. Real estate in Flathead, probably a really good idea. In fact, probably better than realtor. I hate admitting that because we love the name realtor. However, most people can't even pronounce it right. So when they're talking to their
how to pronounce it right.
so when they're talking to their little home device, realtors in Flathead County, they're not saying that. Real estate professionals in Flathead County, that's something that they can say. That's a word that's branded to them. So remember that. Almost half of them are voice command. 30% of them are local. Okay, so a third of those 100 billion searches are relative to your marketplace. That's a lot. Content marketing, I love this slide. This is what I put in this morning because I had to share this. I'm going to cruise with it because I want to make sure I get it across. How many of you are familiar with Monster Jobs? Okay, kind of like, can you name a competitor?
Indeed.
Indeed.
LinkedIn
Indeed.
jobs.
LinkedIn Jobs, yeah.
Craigslist.
Craigslist. How about Career Builder?
Verbo.
Yeah, okay. A lot of those guys are very similar. There's a new one to the marketplace that is gaining market share faster than all of those guys, and I'll show you why. Monster.com launched itself and started with a very simple concept. We want to be the bridge between an employer and employee. So we're going to say, hey, post your job, post your resume, we'll make it happen like eHarmony, okay? And everybody is happy. Well, that didn't really work, and there was a lot of marketing that went into their business platform because it was kind of mind-blowing. And so, yeah, this is a great idea, except for the problem was you've got these local guys that have their hands on the local marketplace, that can outdo what they're doing digitally. Well, and this is what I mean by automation, guys. Watch this. They then said, well, we're going to shift gears a little bit, and they got into offering career advice and hiring resources. So if you go to monster.com, about 90% of their website is resources to make yourself a better speaker, a better presenter, develop a better resume. Do they make money on any of that? Not at all. They're not even asking for the business. You can download their resume build kit, and it will not even say, take this to monster.com when you're done. It's just a valuable resource. Content marketing, that's what that is. So how in the world could somebody ever compete against them? Enter the Muse. Never heard of them before. When you look at the market tracking, these guys are accelerating rapidly. Here's why. Look what they changed. So the SEO content of their websites, monster.com, job search, career advice, hiring resources, that means they're giving preference to job search. So if somebody types job search in Google, they're going to find monster.com at some point. The Muse realized that people aren't starting with job searching. They're starting with expert career advice, resume building, things like that. How do I become a better person for my marketplace before I enter the marketplace? They're capitalizing on what is a more searched item, and that is how to become, again, more applicable for your marketplace. The Muse switched their SEO. Their actual moneymaker is second or third on the list as opposed to what their content is on their website. Go to their website again. Very similar to monster.com, full of content. Let's take that to our industry really quick. Let's say you create your website and you create content on your website. Again, how to read a title commitment. Probably really easy for you to create that video. You can call your buddy Justin and have him spill all the words. Okay? And I do it pretty well. I like title commitments. I make it fun. We could create a 5-minute video there. Upload it to your YouTube channel, share it on your Facebook, share it on your website. Content. The cool thing about doing a video is that you do it once, and you don't have to do it again, or again, or again. That's why I'm recording it. Next one will just be a digital display. Create that content, you win the SEO battle. Your search results are higher in search engines, and you can do all of that for free with your social media platforms. These guys are putting it to the test, and they're winning marketplace. Okay, LEA, advertise. We're gonna have some fun here. Ultimately, I'm going to encourage you to set a budget, okay? Ask yourself how you want to treat your transactions on Facebook or your advertising on your social media platforms, how you want to push things here or there. How much per transaction, how much per month, how much per year? That's only an answer that you can provide. Do know that you can take and stretch a penny very, very, very far in this manner. In fact, when compared to direct mail, one of the most popular phone calls I get or emails is, hey, I need a farming list for this neighborhood because I just got a new listing. That's awesome. It's a great idea, and it's a tried and true proven tactic. However, it's about 900 times more expensive to saturate that market than it is in social media. So if you don't have the pocketbook for it yet, I'm going to show you how to do it digitally first. Leverage your insights. I bolded this because it's worth understanding that you cannot get this stuff out of your personal page and track your results. I love this phrase. Somebody told it to me a long time ago, and I can't remember who it was. Social media marketing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're scattering seeds. They eventually blossom. The cool thing is that with your abilities in your insights and your social media tracking, you can scatter that seed across the most fertile of soil to see the greatest result. Here's an example of what an insight page looks like. This is First Americans. And I like to call it the whale, because it looks like a whale. What it did show me or surprise me was that I actually have highest number of engagement at 9 p.m. Why in the world are people on a title company's Facebook page at 9 p.m.? I know. They need to go to sleep. Let me read a title a minute. No, that's not why.
The kids are in bed and they've got free time finally.
Finally, I'm able to research what is important on my next purchase or my next sale. You're right. That's probably when they're engaging. What I do like about this whale is that from after 9 p.m. to about 6 a.m., I've got engagement possibility on my Facebook. In the beginning, when you start your Facebook business page, a lot of times it might look like this. I had one person like it at 3 p.m. That's okay. Now you know where that person's looking. So post your next one, schedule your next one to occur on either side of that little mountain peak to create a hill and a plateau, and then eventually a whale. So at this point, in fact, I'm not the only one. I'm the least contributor to my company's website or my company's Facebook page. I post there seldom. I have a lot of people that post there, and they post at incremental times throughout the day to keep the information going. It's really cool because you can track it per day. You can find out what is the most popular day. It looks like our most popular day is Friday. Yeah, Friday, or even Tuesday. Friday and Tuesday, probably closing days. That's why. So it's pretty sweet. Now let me show you what you came here for. Check this out. I already showed you the penny, right? Hold on. I like how John said in the beginning, you're going to teach a class on social media and we don't have internet. Let this be an opportunity for us to understand that I teach a lot of social media stuff. However, I will tell you, you're far more important in the marketplace than you are behind a screen. Go get them in the marketplace. Just let them find you here. You don't have to spend that much time here. You're a lot more important out there. That's how we win. And case in point, if there's no Wi-Fi, they can't look you up anyways, right?
Stranded.
You're stranded. Let me see if I can try this one. All right, can everybody see that? Hey, look at that. Notification from John Devine. How about that? What I have here, because I told you before, prior to First American Title, I was a realtor here in the Flathead. And this was my Facebook page. After hanging up my real estate license, obtaining a title insurance license, I had to kind of de-realtor it to be in compliance and kind of just make it neutral. I like to call it a ghost town Facebook page because I haven't used it, I haven't had a reason to use it for quite some time. Until now. Now that I find that I'm teaching these classes, it's really easy to make fun of my own page instead of making fun of somebody else's page. Otherwise, I'd say, hey, let's name a realtor who's not here. Let's go make fun of her with that. No, let's not do that. So what we have here is how I branded myself, do something epic. That was my tag. And I had come up, I like to come up with like motivational or inspirational banner photos to engage my audience. Regardless, I want to show you how you can dive into some pretty savvy advertising on Facebook. LEA, advertising. Now we're at the point where we're going to throw a couple dollars at our business. When you go to Facebook ad accounts, so all I did was click on that arrow and I went to manage ads. Okay? And you can see that I had quite a few ad campaigns in the past. Some of them I spent $5 on, some of them I spent $100 on, okay? I'm gonna show you something now. This is pretty wild. I'm gonna create a new ad campaign. So I'm gonna just call this, You Betcha Metcha. How about that, right? Thanks, Heidi. Campaign objective, you know what? I'm gonna call this lead generation. I don't exactly know why they asked that question yet. I'm diving into it myself. I do know what happens when you do though. Check this out. Ad set name, I'm gonna call this June simply because maybe that's when I wanna kick off my ad. These things, are totally up to you. This is all internal. Create new ad. I'm gonna call this June ad. Save to draft. Watch this. Great time for a Wi-Fi commercial. Okay, now that we have the ad draft over here, here's my campaign details, okay? I have one ad set that I named in this ad campaign. Here, see how Facebook is becoming hyper-organized in your advertising. They want you to consider them for a lot of your advertising. Maybe I have an ad campaign for my listing. Maybe I have an ad campaign for the buyers that I'm shopping for. Maybe it's for my open houses. Maybe it's for the classes that I'm teaching. Okay, I'm gonna go to my ad set. Watch this. Here's where you get to start to establish your budget and your audience, okay? Think postcards, right? Buying, farming lists. I want to shop this particular area or zip code. Here's where Facebook goes beyond the postal stamp. I have here daily budget 20. That might have been my average back then. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You can set that to whatever you want it to be. You can set it for how long you want it to run. It could be $100 for 5 days, $20 a day. It could be $100 for one day. It could be $5 for every day for a month. However you want it. All right. Here's what I wanted to show you though. Custom audience. All right. Right now, we have the United States identified. I want to be a little bit more specific than that. I'm going to call it Kalispell. All right. Narrowed down my audience. Says potential reach about 70,000 people. All right. Let's go a little further. I've got my age demographic here between 18 and 65 plus. You have to be 18 to take title in Montana. Be very careful about setting an age demographic because while Facebook doesn't comply with fair housing, they're aware of fair housing and they don't want to be a supplier of advertising that violates fair housing. So if you get into age demographics, you might violate fair housing, okay? So I probably wouldn't even touch age because even though you might be working in a senior living environment, and obviously there is fair housing permitted age restriction there, you may have to be careful about that. That part I can't speak for Facebook. I do know that they're looking at fair housing and they don't want to violate fair housing because as big as they are, and even though they get in a little trouble, they probably just write a check and move on. Languages, don't really want to differentiate there either. Here's what I thought was really cool. Detailed targeting. Notice this on my screen, it's microscopic. Demographics, interests, or behaviors. Let's say you have a lot of listings on the mountain. I heard somebody at MLS this morning say I have a whole bunch of listings in the other side of the mountain. You could target ski goers, right? You could target those who have skiing interests, whatever it may be. How about this though? Homeowners. Did I do it?
That's not it. I don't think that's what you meant.
What is homeopatia? Well, whatever, we're about to market to them. You guys want to buy a house?
No?
Okay, homeowners. So demographics, home ownership. Notice what happened to my potential reach. About split in half. Okay, what that means is, no, that's great, because you're making every penny count. Okay, now this ad campaign that you may have created, whether it be a static image, beautified by Canva, utilizing social media experts locally to help you put that together, or it be a video, or it simply just be your open house or your new listing. Whatever that ad campaign may be, you have the digital potential to put it in front of just those identified as homeowners in Facebook, in Kalispell, Montana. As specific or as wide as you want. I have it set to, if I scroll up, 25 miles of Kalispell. Back in my day, I used to make that 50 because that's okay. I'll drive for a deal. So I just made it a little further. Potential reach, 42,000 people. Ready for this one? Add demographics, interests, or behaviors. How about this for a behavior? Likely to move. Bam. How they know this? I don't know. Don't know if I want to know. Probably all those home Google devices that are listening to conversations. We got to sell the house. Bam! Facebook's like, oh, cool. Let's put them in there. Look at how we narrowed it down to homeowners who are likely to move. What happens if you create an ad campaign that's saying you're the relocation expert? Boom. Do you ever wonder how? And I'm not kidding. I was on my Facebook, probably just clicked on a mattress. And all of a sudden, all of my ads on my Facebook are mattresses. I was tired of them, so I bought one. It works. Here's another great example. I'll turn the lights on. These sunglasses. Never heard of the company before. Third pair. Found them on Facebook. They're cheap, they're polarized, I love them. I like boating, if you can't tell by the sunburn. They're called Blenders. Found them on Facebook. They introduced themselves to me based on probably my lifestyle choices. This guy likes to boat. He follows all these boating things, right? He's not on Snapchat, so we know what he doesn't like to do over there. Right?
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I love it. They put themselves in front of me, they've got 3 deals out of me, okay? This is how you win in this world that is rapidly communicating like the fighter jet, while the rest of the industries are looking a lot like the sloth. You have to stay on top of it. And the cool thing about all of this is you took one thing home. It doesn't take much at all. It doesn't take much time. It definitely doesn't take a lot of these, especially when you can see the immediate results. You're talking about, you cannot even do that with a greatest list from the greatest title company. Oh, I only had 3. You can't even get that out of a farming list. Yeah, we can give you some great addresses and you can develop, in fact, it'd be a great echo campaign. I'm gonna launch this ad in this area of this pocket of homeowners who are likely to move, and I'm gonna follow up by blasting the postcards throughout the neighborhood as well, so they stay in front of them, stay in front of them, stay in front of them. However, remember, bring the horse to the trough, make sure there's water. I'd like to encourage you to really consider a lot of that I talked about, that content marketing. How you can develop greater resources, greater value to you and your industry for the consumer out there who is rapidly looking at automation. That's okay, I didn't have any more slides. So I think since I took it off the presenter, it's probably just went to sleep. So that's what I have for you. I think we might have made it. Did we clear it all in an hour?
12:59. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
For that reason alone, bring me your next deal. So, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Grab a sandwich for you or a loved one or a neighbor or your next client on your way out. Please grab my card. We're going to do a pretty cool drawing tomorrow. All right, grab the card, throw your card in there. With your card, I'm going to invite you to the private Facebook group where you can access this kind of information and more anytime you want. This presentation, if that didn't shut off on me, I'll record and upload it up there as well. That way you can, I know it's a lot of information. We were cruising through at light speed. And yeah, and if you're interested, I'm happy to sit down with you one-on-one, develop what you may need more specifically to your particular interests. I know that even though we know that we're not competitors anymore, we still kind of feel like we're competitors. That's okay, because the better you do your job, the better that everybody else gets to do their job. So rising tide rises all. Right? So go get them, guys. We have a world to win, and that is the next homeowners and the next home sellers. So thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.